Today we're going to show you how to make the most delicious hot honey rotisserie chickens. For the preparation on our rotisserie chickens today, we're going to start with two around 5-pound chickens. I wanted them to be close in size because if one of them's done, then I know the other one should be as well. Now all I've done is taken these out of the package. You can see that I did a little bit of work on this one on the left, your right first, but I want to show you what we're going to do here. The first thing I'm going to do is grab the wings, get these wing tips, and I'm going to tuck them behind this breast. And you can see once I do that, it makes it to where the wings aren't flopping around as much, and that's going to bring them tighter and everything cook a little bit better. The next thing I'm going to do is grab some butcher's twine, and once we're around midway to this breast, we're going to go down. So now we're inside the seams of the legs, and before we go any further, I'm going to cross this up. And you can see the bottom of this chicken breast. I want my twine to be right towards the bottom. It's because I don't want this twine to actually rub any of the seasoning off, and we found that this is a really good method. So from here, I like to tie around once on each leg, and then we'll come together and make sure that everything is nice and tight. I'll cut off a little bit of this excess string, and this one's ready to go. We're going to do the same exact thing to the other chicken, and then it's straight outside to the rotisserie. We're outside at the Weber Searwood XL, and we have our rotisserie attachment here that we're going to be using. I would have used the Weber kettle, but it's not big enough for the 3 chickens. We're doing 2 hot honey and then 1 for my mom. She's not a huge fan of anything too spicy. We are using hospitality and hot honey, so got to make mom happy. But if you guys have a Weber kettle with the rotisserie attachment, I actually think that that is going to be a great alternative here. If I didn't have to do 3 birds, we would 100% be doing it on there. We've got our rod here, and we're going to go ahead and place our first chicken in. I've got an onion here that I'm going to push through just to separate our 2 chickens. And then we're coming back in with our second bird. Now we're going to go ahead and lock this chicken in. Make sure everything is nice and tight. I'm going to insert my rod over here in the motor. And then there's a little groove right here that I need this to sit in. That's to make sure that nothing falls out of place. And you might be able to tell that so far we have no seasonings on our chickens. That's fine. I'm going to get some of that little blue bottle. We're going to squirt some of this all over. And I'm just going to start rubbing this in. Don't got to be perfect. And if you guys don't want to use any of the parquet, that's completely fine. Use some butter or use some oil. That'll help this seasoning stick. Now that we're spinning, I'm just going to start hitting over top with some AP seasoning. This is our that base. And this is really why I like to season out here. It's spinning, it's moving around, and it makes it easier for me to season. That base or any all-purpose that you use is going to bring a little bit of saltiness. It's going to bring some savoriness. And although we are going to go over top with some Southern hospitality, I do want to make sure that we do have a well-rounded bird. Now that we've got our all-purpose all over our chicken, let's go over top with some Southern hospitality. This is going to bring some barbecue color. This is going to bring some good flavor. I'm going to go just a little bit light with this, although I do want there to be some really good color and flavor on this. There's a lot of sugar here. We're cooking at a higher heat, and we don't want anything to burn. Now that we've got everything nice and seasoned, we're going to go ahead and close our Weber Searwood XL up. We're going to let this rock and roll for the next hour before we look at it. We're looking for internal temps today on this chicken. We do want to make sure everything is fully cooked, but we want to make sure that everything is going to stay nice and juicy. It's been 1 hour since we put our rotisserie chickens on our pellet grill. We want to see what our temps are at and how much longer it's going to take for these to be finished. We are going to make a hot honey glaze for our chickens today, and we want to start basting around 15 degrees before they're done. We got a beautiful red color on our chickens. They're looking incredible, but I can tell just by the color that these are not fully cooked yet. So we're going to go ahead and stop our chicken here. I'm going to get a thermometer, and we're going to put it right here in the breast. You can see we're still sitting around 100 degrees. We still have a long way to go. Like I said a second ago, I could tell that these are nowhere near done just based off the color. The chicken in general would be much darker, and I'd be able to tell that that fat was nice and rendered. That skin would look a little bit crispier, so we're gonna turn this rotisserie back on, and we'll come check on it again in another 30 minutes. It's been about 30 minutes. We want to check our chicken one more time to see if it's time to start hitting it with some hot honey glaze. We're starting to get a really, really beautiful color on our chicken. I see a little bit of splitting here. That's completely okay. I'm going to stop this right now. And just by looking at it, I can tell you that this is going to be a lot closer to where we want it. So if you look here, you'll see that the skin is starting to bust. You'll also see right here on that wing, that's starting to bust as well. That means that that fat is rendering. Everything is looking really good, but let's get an internal temp. So we're right at around 148 degrees, almost to 150, which is perfect. You guys might remember before that I said I wanted to start putting the glaze on around 10 degrees before our target temp. That's gonna be here in about 5 minutes, so let's go inside, get our glaze together, come outside and put it all over top. For our glaze, all we're gonna do is add 1 stick of butter, and we'll eyeball about a half of a cup of hot honey. We'll let this melt down just a little bit in our pellet grill. After a few minutes, your hot honey should come together really nicely. And then we're just gonna start basting this all over top. Rather than put my brush directly on the chicken, we'll just let everything drizzle all over. One of the last things I'm gonna do is use my new gravity-fed grinder. This is not sponsored or anything, it's just something that we've been using in competition and I really, really like it. So what it's gonna do is it's gonna finely grind my hospitality all over top of this chicken. It's gonna get it a really, really nice color in the end, and we hope to get really good coverage. About 10 minutes later, our Hot Honey Rotisserie chickens are looking incredible. They're temping out perfectly. We're actually trying to hurry this video up because a storm is coming in, but we wanted to make sure that we show you guys the finished product. The color is amazing. You can see that glaze on there. I'm gonna try and stop this perfectly so you guys can see these breasts. So what I'm gonna do here is I've got a knife. I'm just gonna cut right out of this breast and show you guys the finished product, because I do not have any patience and I don't want to go inside to do this. So I'm just gonna get my knife, cut right here. Oh, do you see that juice? Oh my gosh, super juicy. It cuts very, very easily right through the skin. A tiny bite, but extremely juicy. And I am so ready to try this. I used to be a hot honey hater. You can even ask my wife. I used to think hot honey was like a phase. There was no way that it was good. It is incredible. The simple glaze that we put all over top just hits your mouth instantly. It's hot, but it's not too hot because we still did add that base. So we have the salt, pepper, and garlic that comes through. You get that rotisserie chicken flavor with a little bit of added smoke and grill flavor from the pellet grill. This is 10 out of 10. Absolutely would recommend. I want to show you guys what's going on out here because this is kind of why we're trying to hurry up. The winds are howling and it seems like it's gonna rain any second. So this is a little bit different of an outro. Sorry we didn't get a better shot of the chicken, but we don't want any of our equipment to get dirty. As always, we really appreciate you guys tuning into this video. I have to tell you, even if you don't have a rotisserie, you've got to try the Hot Honey Chicken. It is quite literally one of the best that I've ever had. I know I say that a lot, but I promise you, I mean it. Thanks, and we'll see you on the next one.